Procrastination is every man's silent enemy. It robs you of time, kills potential, and feeds on excuses. But the solution lies in Stoicism, a philosophy practiced by great men like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. They didn't wait for motivation. They acted despite discomfort and doubt. If you're tired of delaying your goals and want to take control of your life, this video is for you. We'll explore 5 Stoic principles to help you overcome procrastination, build discipline, and stop wasting time. Stick around until the end for battle-tested strategies that will transform you into a man of action. If you find this helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Chapter 1. Accepting the reality of time. Time is perhaps the most precious resource we have, yet it's the one most often taken for granted. Every second you waste is a second you can never get back. But the sad truth is that too many men procrastinate as if time is an unlimited commodity. The thought process behind procrastination often stems from an illusion, the belief that we have endless days ahead of us. The truth, however, is far harsher. You do not have unlimited time. Every moment you choose to delay, every minute you waste, is time taken away from your future self, from your goals, from your potential. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." In a world where distractions pull us in 1,000 directions, this simple statement is a stark reminder. Life is fleeting. No one is guaranteed tomorrow. And yet, how often do we delay the things that matter, telling ourselves we'll start tomorrow, next week, or next month? How often do we convince ourselves that there's always another opportunity to take action, that we can always catch up later? But the truth is, there is no later, only now. When you realize that the clock is always ticking and that death is inevitable, procrastination becomes an act of self-betrayal. It's not just about missing deadlines or neglecting tasks. It's about squandering the limited time you have to achieve greatness, to grow, to build something meaningful. Time does not wait for you to feel ready or for the perfect moment to arrive. It keeps moving, and each second wasted is gone forever. Stoicism teaches us that instead of fearing the inevitability of death, we should use it as a catalyst for action. The awareness of our mortality should propel us into a life of purpose and urgency. Instead of waiting for motivation or the perfect conditions to begin, we need to act now, because waiting means squandering precious moments. The question you need to ask yourself is, if not now, when? Every time you delay taking action, ask yourself if the moment you're waiting for is truly more important than the one that is already here. Will tomorrow ever really be better? The truth is, the more you train your mind to understand the fleeting nature of time, the more you will begin to treat each moment with the respect it deserves. Procrastination will no longer seem like a harmless habit, but rather a threat to your future. The more you realize that you cannot afford to waste time, the more urgency you will bring into everything you do. Start today, not tomorrow, because one day you'll wake up and find that you've run out of time. Don't let that day come before you finally start acting on what matters. Time is your most valuable asset, and how you use it will determine the quality of your life. Chapter 2. Discipline over motivation. One of the most pervasive and damaging myths that men buy into is the belief that they need motivation to get things done. We wait for that spark, that burst of inspiration, that moment when the mood is just right to begin working on a project or achieving a goal. But here's the cold, hard truth. Motivation is temporary. It's an unreliable source of energy that can quickly fade away when you don't feel up to the task. It's fleeting and inconsistent. If you wait for motivation to strike, you'll find yourself stuck in a perpetual cycle of delay and missed opportunities. The great Stoics understood this principle intimately. They didn't rely on fleeting feelings or external factors to drive their actions. They relied on something far stronger and more reliable: discipline. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all understood that motivation would not always be there when needed. They knew that relying on motivation alone would only lead to procrastination, frustration, and inaction. Instead, they cultivated discipline, an unshakable internal force that compels you to act, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the commitment to show up and do the work day after day, no matter how tired, unmotivated, or discouraged you might feel. It's about sticking to your schedule, following through on your plans, and taking the necessary steps toward your goals without waiting for the perfect conditions to fall into place. Motivation may give you a quick burst of energy, but discipline gives you the power to keep going, even when that initial excitement wears off. Epictetus, one of the foremost Stoic philosophers, put it bluntly: "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" This quote cuts to the heart of the matter. How long will you wait for the perfect moment to act? How long will you make excuses, hoping for motivation to show up and save you? The truth is, the best time to act is right now, regardless of how you feel. The longer you delay, the more you let procrastination dictate your life. Building discipline means training your willpower. It's about creating a set of standards for yourself and sticking to them, no matter what. It means deciding in advance that you will follow through on your commitments, even if the task seems daunting or if the excitement has faded. When you approach life with discipline, you remove the element of choice. It's not about deciding whether you feel like doing something. It's about knowing that it has to be done and doing it because you've already committed to it. Start by setting a clear schedule. Create daily habits that are aligned with your goals, and hold yourself accountable. Do the hard things first, especially the tasks you've been putting off. When you push through the discomfort and take action anyway, you'll train your brain to see action as the default response, not procrastination. Soon you'll begin to realize that discipline is far more powerful than motivation, and that motivation becomes unnecessary when you make action a habit. Mastering discipline means that procrastination will no longer be an option. Instead of waiting for a feeling to push you into action, you'll find yourself consistently moving forward, regardless of external circumstances. Discipline transforms action into a non-negotiable part of your day, and over time, it becomes easier to take the first step and keep going, even when the motivation is nowhere to be found. And as your discipline grows, procrastination will lose its grip on you, because when action becomes a habit, procrastination becomes impossible. Chapter 3. Mastering your mind, control over comfort. Procrastination often stems from your mind choosing comfort over progress. Your brain is naturally wired to seek out ease, pleasure, and the path of least resistance. It's a survival instinct. Why expend energy on something difficult when you can stay in a state of comfort and familiarity? This is why so many men find themselves endlessly scrolling through their phones, watching episode after episode on Netflix, or finding every possible excuse to avoid the hard tasks that are staring them in the face. These actions might feel good in the short term. They give you a sense of relief or pleasure in the moment. But in the long run, they sabotage your progress, robbing you of your potential and keeping you stuck in a cycle of procrastination. The Stoics, however, were masters at confronting this natural tendency to avoid discomfort. They understood that to achieve greatness, you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone. They knew that growth never happens in the easy moments. It happens when you push through the resistance, when you face challenges head-on and keep going despite the discomfort. The Stoic approach isn't about suppressing your desire for comfort. It's about controlling your mind before it controls you. It's about developing the mental strength to reject the temptation of short-term ease in favor of long-term achievement. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." What he meant was that most of the time, the things we procrastinate on aren't as hard or as daunting as our minds make them seem. The weight of a project, the fear of failure, or the overwhelming sense of discomfort we imagine before taking action is often far greater than the reality of actually doing the work. We allow our imagination to create worst-case scenarios, which can paralyze us with fear and indecision. In truth, our minds are our greatest enemy when it comes to procrastination, because they magnify our doubts and make the tasks seem insurmountable. The key to overcoming procrastination, therefore, is to take control of your mind. Instead of allowing your thoughts to convince you that a task is too difficult or that you need more time to prepare, you must challenge those thoughts and push forward anyway. The first step is breaking tasks down into smaller, more manageable steps. Large, overwhelming tasks are often what trigger procrastination because they feel too big to tackle in one sitting. But when you break them down into smaller, more achievable pieces, the task no longer feels impossible. You don't have to worry about completing the entire project at once. Just focus on the next step, the next action, the next piece of the puzzle. When you focus on what you can do right now, procrastination loses its power. Instead of delaying, you take action. Instead of waiting for motivation to show up, you act regardless of how you feel. This is where Stoicism comes in. By controlling your mind, you control your actions. When a procrastinating thought arises, telling you that you deserve a break or that you can do it later, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought truly serving my best interests? Am I moving toward progress or choosing comfort instead? The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to reject the lure of procrastination. The moment you stop letting comfort dictate your actions, you become unstoppable. Procrastination thrives on the idea that you need to feel good or motivated to take action. But when you stop relying on your feelings and focus on discipline and progress, you eliminate procrastination as a choice. Every time you choose to act despite the discomfort, you train your mind to see discomfort as a sign of growth, not something to avoid. This mindset shift is transformative. It enables you to push through difficult tasks, rise above distractions, and keep your eyes on the prize, even when the easy path seems tempting. Over time, you'll develop a stronger mental discipline that makes procrastination seem like a distant memory. You'll begin to take pride in overcoming the mental resistance that once held you back. And the best part? As you continue to master your mind, the feeling of accomplishment you experience after completing a difficult task will far outweigh the temporary pleasure of comfort. This sense of fulfillment and pride in your work will become your new source of motivation, driving you forward on your journey of success. So the next time you feel procrastination creeping in, remember that it's your mind's way of choosing comfort. And choose to master it, not let it master you. Chapter 4. Taking responsibility. No more excuses. Procrastination thrives on excuses. It feeds on the narratives we tell ourselves to justify inaction. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'll do it later. These statements might offer temporary relief, but they do nothing to move us forward. They are convenient ways to avoid discomfort and delay taking the necessary steps toward our goals. The truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and we all face challenges. But how we respond to those challenges determines whether we rise or stay stuck. No one is coming to save you from procrastination. No one cares about your excuses. Life doesn't reward the man who waits. It rewards the man who acts regardless of the obstacles in his path. This is where the Stoic mindset comes in. The Stoics taught us that we have control over our actions no matter the circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, often reminded himself that external events are beyond his control, but his response to them is entirely within his power. The same applies to procrastination. When you procrastinate, it's not because the world is too hard or unfair. It's because you're choosing to avoid action. Stoicism teaches us the importance of taking radical responsibility for every aspect of our lives, including our productivity and our ability to overcome procrastination. If you're not where you want to be in life, the Stoic truth is that it's because of you, not your circumstances, not your upbringing, not anyone else. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming the world around us for our inaction. We tell ourselves that we're too busy, too tired, or that the timing just isn't right. But that mindset is a trap. It places the power outside of you, leaving you at the mercy of external factors. The moment you own the truth that your current situation is a result of your own choices, you take back the power to change it. Procrastination dies the moment you realize that the choice is yours. Take a moment and reflect on this. Every decision you make is a choice. The choice to act or to delay. You are not powerless in the face of procrastination. The only thing standing between you and the results you want is the willingness to take responsibility for your actions or lack thereof. If you choose to procrastinate, you are choosing to delay your success. If you choose to act, you are choosing to move closer to your goals. There's no magic moment where the perfect conditions will align to make everything easy. Success comes from consistent action, regardless of how you feel in the moment. The Stoic mindset demands that you take full responsibility for your life. Your success and your failures, your discipline and your distractions, your progress and your procrastination. Eliminating excuses is one of the most powerful tools in defeating procrastination. When you stop blaming external factors, you shift the responsibility back to where it belongs, with you. I don't have time becomes, I choose to prioritize other things. I'm too tired becomes, I am choosing comfort over action. I'll do it later becomes, I am choosing to delay my success. This shift is liberating because it takes away the power of procrastination. Now, it's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the choice to act in the moment, no matter the circumstances. A man who takes full responsibility has no reason to wait. When you embrace this mindset, procrastination loses its grip. You stop waiting for the ideal conditions, the perfect mood, or the right time. You realize that success is built on consistent action, not on waiting for a moment of inspiration. Procrastination is no longer a possibility. It's an option you've eliminated because you are in control of your actions. By choosing responsibility over excuses, you take ownership of your life and your future. You stop letting procrastination dictate your pace, and you start taking the necessary steps to achieve your goals, no matter how small the actions may seem. The Stoic approach to procrastination is about being honest with yourself. It's about confronting the truth. You are the only one responsible for your progress. This realization might be uncomfortable at first, but it's also incredibly empowering. It gives you the agency to change your circumstances and to stop delaying the work that needs to be done. As you take responsibility for your actions, you'll begin to see that procrastination doesn't stand a chance against a man who owns his decisions and his time. So the next time you feel procrastination creeping in, ask yourself, what am I choosing right now? And make the choice to take responsibility, to take action, and to move forward. Chapter 5. Action is the cure. Start now. The harsh reality is that procrastination cannot be defeated through thoughts or plans. You can think about your goals all day, you can write down strategies, you can analyze and reanalyze, but none of that will lead to progress unless you take action. The key to defeating procrastination lies in one simple principle: movement. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, succinctly captured this idea when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This statement is powerful because it cuts to the heart of the matter. Stop theorizing about what you need to do and start doing it. Your success doesn't come from endless planning or thinking about action. It comes from acting now. Procrastination is an enemy that thrives in the realm of inaction. The longer you delay, the more excuses you create, and the harder it becomes to get started. Thinking about your tasks or even planning for them creates a sense of false productivity that ultimately leads to more inaction. The only way to truly defeat procrastination is to take that first step, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Every journey begins with the decision to move forward, and each action you take diminishes the power of procrastination. When you act, you create momentum. When you delay, you breed more hesitation and fear. One of the most effective strategies to break the cycle of procrastination is the 5-second rule. This simple technique can be a game changer when you feel hesitation creeping in. It's incredibly straightforward. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, simply count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. The countdown serves as a mental trigger that forces you into action. It interrupts your thoughts, takes away your ability to overthink, and forces you to make a decision. Once you hit 1, the only option left is to act. Whether it's starting that difficult task, sending that email, or going for a run, the key is to eliminate hesitation before it takes hold. This technique is incredibly powerful because it cuts through the inertia that holds us back. Once you start, even if it's with a small step, the resistance fades and momentum takes over. Inaction is a breeding ground for procrastination. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to get started. But when you make action your default response, procrastination loses its power. This is why consistency is so crucial. The more you act, the easier it becomes to take the next step. It's like building muscle. The more you exercise, the stronger you get, and eventually action becomes second nature. Over time, you'll notice that procrastination no longer has the same hold over you because you've trained yourself to act without hesitation. The key to overcoming procrastination is not to wait for the perfect moment, the ideal motivation, or the right set of circumstances. Those moments rarely come. Instead, take control by creating your own momentum. Take action now, even if it's imperfect, even if it's not how you envisioned it. The act of moving forward is what will carry you through the resistance. Start with a single step, no matter how small, and build from there. Soon you'll find that procrastination is no longer an issue because you've conditioned your mind to focus on action rather than delay. By focusing on action, you kill procrastination in its tracks. The more you practice taking that first step, the more natural it becomes. The Stoics understood this deeply. Action is what shapes the man. It's not enough to talk about your goals or think about the person you want to become. You must act, whether it's waking up early to work on your goals, starting that project you've been putting off, or tackling the tough conversation you've been avoiding. The cure for procrastination is always the same: start now. When you begin acting, you'll find that the resistance you once felt becomes less daunting. The more you push through the discomfort of starting, the easier it gets to keep going. Procrastination thrives in the absence of action, so by consistently taking steps, no matter how small, you'll gradually eliminate its influence over your life. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, or the perfect mood. The time to act is always now. With each step you take, you build the discipline necessary to overcome procrastination once and for all. So, remember, when hesitation hits, count down from 5 and move. The more you practice this, the more unstoppable you will become. Procrastination has no place in the life of a man who takes action. Procrastination is a battle, but it's a battle that every man has the power to win. By accepting the finite nature of time, choosing discipline over fleeting motivation, mastering your mind, taking full responsibility for your actions, and committing to immediate action, you transform into the kind of man who does what needs to be done without excuses or hesitation. And this type of man doesn't just get by in life, he excels. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop waiting and start acting? If you're ready to take charge and overcome procrastination once and for all, take the first step right now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Drop a comment below about which principle resonated with you the most. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. We're building a community of disciplined, action-taking men. Stay focused, stay strong, stay stoic,